Kiambu Senator Karungo Thangwa has launched a strong attack against former Trade Cabinet Secretary and former presidential advisor Moses Kuria over his recent remarks to former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua about showing respect to women leaders. The remarks have stirred political tension within the Mount Kenya region, further exposing the widening rift between allies over President Ruto and those loyal to Kashagwa. The dispute began after Moses Kuria, in a public message shared on social media, praised Kashagwa as undisputed Mount Kenya kingpin, but advised him to avoid making comments that could be seen as disrespectful to women leaders. His statement was viewed by many political observers as an attempt to melt ties with Kashagwa, who has been leading a political rebellion against President Ruto after their fallout last year. Karungo Thangwa, however, dismissed Koya remarks, describing them as part of a deceptive strategy to divide the Mount Kenya region. Speaking during an opposition rally in Kirinyaga County, the Kiambu senator accused Korea of acting on behalf of figures within State House who were uncomfortable with Kashagwa's growing influence and public support in the region. He told the crowd that President Ruto and his close allies were panicking over Kashagwa's rising popularity and were now sending embassies to confuse his supporters. According to Karungo, Moses Kuria was being used as one of those political messengers to undermine Kashagwa's leadership and to weaken his newly formed Democracy for Citizens Party (DCP). Karungo added that Kuria had no moral authority to lecture Kashagwa on how to treat women leaders, saying the former sees a political record did not permit him to make such statements. He claimed that Korea's sudden show of respect and reconciliation was insecure and aimed at misleading the public into believing there was unity among North Kenya leaders, while in reality, hidden political motives were driven the narrative. The senator said that most Kenya leaders should remain united and not to be swayed by individuals who had previously opposed Kashagwa. He reminded the audience that it was Kashagwa who stood firm for the region when others remained silent, and that no one should now try to dictate the terms to him. His message drew lighter cheers from the crowd, many of whom have openly backed Kashagwa's campaign for political independence from State House. Karoko's attack on Korea adds to the list of disagreement within the ruling coalition. Over recent months, several leaders from central Kenya have openly criticized the government, accusing it of neglecting the region despite its overwhelming support for Ruto in the last general election. The relationship between Ruto and Kashago, once seen as solid, has deteriorated sharply, turning the former deputy president into one of Ruto's strongest critics. At the same Kirinyaga rally, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua addressed the crowd amid chants of support. He responded to ongoing claims that he had disrespected women leaders, insisting that his criticism was not about gender but about betrayal. Gachagua said he would continue calling out any leader, male or female, who acted against the interests of the Mount Kenya people. He accused the president Ruto of working with a businessman from Italy to import 5 million tons of rice, saying the move would harm local farmers in Mwea. According to Kashagwa, the president and his associate were motivated by personal businesses' interests rather than public welfare. The former deputy president explained that rice farmers in Ware would lose their market once the imported rice flooded the shelves. He said it was unfortunate that the area member of parliament and the governor will remain silent as farmers face political losses or potential losses. Kashyap described such silence as betrayal, arguing that leaders who failed to speak for the people did not deserve their position. The crowd cheered as Kashyap spoke passionately about protecting local farmers. He said he would not be silent by powerful people who are benefiting from corrupt deals. His message resonated strongly with farmers and traders who have long complained about the government failure to support local agriculture. Throughout the rally, Kashagwa repeated that his criticism had nothing to do with gender criminalization or discriminalization, but with principles of accountability. He said he respected women but would not tolerate betrayal from any leader. It would come amid pressure from government allies who had accused him of unfairly targeting female leaders in his speech or in his recent speech. The political confrontation between Kashago and Ruto's ally has intensified in recent weeks, with each side trading accusations. Supporters of the former deputy president claim that Ruto's administration has been using government institutions to frustrate leaders allied with Kashagwa. On the other hand, Ruto's loyalties accuse Kashagwa of promoting division and undermining the president's authority. Karungo Thangwa's latest remarks are viewed as a direct challenge to State House, signaling that most Kenya leaders allied to Gachagua are no longer afraid to confront those they perceived as betraying their region interests. His speech reflected the growing determination among leaders from Kiambu, Nyeri, Murang'a, and Kirinyaga to defend Gashagua's political position against attacks from within government cycles. Observers note that President or Moses Kuria attempt to act as a mediator between Ruto and Kashago has not been well received by either side. After being dropped from cabinet, Korea has tried to rebuild his political relevance by calling for unity in Mount Kenya. However, his critics accuse him of shifting loyalties and lacking consistency in either political stance. During the Kirinyaga Valley, Gachagua reaffirmed his loyalty to the people, not to political elites. He said he would continue exposing corruption and economic mismanagement. The crowd responded with chants of support as he listed issues such as heavy taxation, high living costs, policies, and that had made life difficult for ordinary citizens. He accused a senior government official of benefiting from state contracts while ordinary Kenyans suffered. His tone remained defiant, positioning himself as a defender of the people and a critic of policies that favor a few at the expense of many. Karungo Thangwa, who has become one of Kashago's most vocal allies, maintained that Mount Kenya unity must not be broken by political games. He said leaders who stood with Kashago were going so out of loyalty to people, not a personal ambition. He urged the crowd to reject any attempt by outsiders to divide them ahead of the upcoming election.